Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramona, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast.
BrainShare Business Mentors proudly presents BrainShare.us, the ultimate business education platform, delivering the proven systems, processes, tools, and knowledge that empower you to build the business of your dreams. With 13 high-powered courses encompassing over 240 lessons accessed online on your schedule. Running a business is the hardest thing you'll ever do. We've helped thousands of business owners gain the leadership, communication, and business skills needed to build the business of their dreams. We can help you. Choose your learning path. Scuba Squad is the premier membership program for today's business leaders with access to all BrainShare material and double our money-back guarantee. BrainShare Basics, the ultimate business framework course, a hard-hitting 13-week program to lay the necessary foundation to build the business of your dreams. Or take individual courses as you need them. Every course has dozens of lessons, with video, practical exercises, precise documentation, and the opportunity for direct feedback from a BrainShare mentor. All programs have our exclusive 30-day money-back guarantee. No questions asked, don't wait. Choose your path and start today.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. I started this podcast because I want people to learn how to serve and make an impact in the world. I think an impact is important. And being the host, Steve Ramona, I want to understand life and business go together and how you can use a servant heart to do that. And I want to thank my sponsor, PitchDB, who you're going to learn about today. PitchDB is an incredible app that you can use to pitch podcasts, media outlets, speaking gigs. You got 11,000 speaking gigs you can pitch, and he shows you how to do it. We're going to talk more about that on the podcast today because this is my first sponsor podcast, and I'm excited to do this. My other sponsor is BrainShare.us. Discover how to create a self-sustaining business that thrives even in your absence. You can have a business that doesn't tie you down. Will guide you through the steps to build an enterprise that operates smoothly without your constant oversight. Visit BrainShare.us to learn how to set the foundations for a business that stands the test of time. With BrainShare Business Mentors, you can build a business that works with you, without you. And that's the important thing. Well, as I said, we're going to talk to my new sponsor, PitchDB and Ron Story, but I'm excited because I've been working with them for months, and the development and change in this program is powerful. And why I love what he's doing, you need to be a thought leader in your industry. But the only way to do that is you need to pitch speaking gigs, podcasts, news stations, radio stations to get yourself out there, your brand. That's what I've been doing, and it's changed my life. And I've been using PitchDB for about 4 or 5 months, and I've got some incredible gigs I never would have got without meeting this guy. Ron Story, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Steve. I appreciate it.
Well, let's talk about pitches. Let's go right there and why they're so important.
Well, I think personal branding is important, right? And pitching is just the easiest way to build a personal brand, right? So going forward, I believe if we think about now in the gig economy and the freelance economy, you don't interview for jobs. You show your work now, right? With my clients, they're not asking me for my resume or what college I went to. They're saying, show me the results you've gotten and we'll hire you. We'll let you do your, we'll let you be a consultant to our company, right? And I think that that's going to pass over into regular HR departments. When they're hiring a marketing person, the marketing person is going to send the 5 podcasts he's been on talking about his marketing ideas. He's going to show his marketing campaigns, things of that sort. He may even send a speaking gig that he did at a larger company to show that he is a thought leader in his position. So I think personal branding is really more important than talking about pitching, because that's only the way you build the personal brand.
How long have you been doing all this?
So I've been doing cold outreach, talking to strangers since about 2000 when I was a financial advisor, right? So we used to cold call 200 people every day when I was an advisor at Northwestern Mutual. In 2012, when I finally left the insurance business, I started working with startups, and they were like, dude, we're not cold calling. I'm like, so how do you all get people? They're like, we do cold email. I'm like, what is cold email? I'm like, isn't that spam? They're like, no, spam only applies if a company is reaching out to the consumer. But the law on spam, as far as reaching out to businesses, that's like putting a business on the do not call list. It does not exist. Mm-hmm. So you can always call a business. A business can't be on the do not call list. You can always email a business. There's no spam laws protecting businesses from that perspective. So I'm like, oh, really? And then I met this guy named Aaron Ross, who wrote a book called Predictable Revenue. He came to speak at our office. And I was like, dude, like, this how you built Salesforce? He was like, yeah, I was the enterprise salesperson for Salesforce. And I built Salesforce's enterprise sales team using cold email. So he wrote a whole book on cold email. He came in and taught us the stuff in the book. Now he's like famous in Silicon Valley for it. But at the time, he was just, Aaron, I wrote this book. People are hiring me to speak because I used to work at Salesforce. Cold email is basically what we do. We pitch. Hey, I offer this service. Would you like to use it? Same thing with podcasting. Hey, I talk on this subject. Are you looking for interesting guests? Hey, I speak on this subject. Are you looking for speakers for this conference? Hey, I did this, this, and that. Are you looking to write an interesting story on how to build a startup with no cash? That's what you would pitch to a magazine writer. It's the same cold outreach, but it's a selfless outreach. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about how I can help you. And that's what the difference is.
One feature I love about your product, the pitchdb.com is what the website is. I'll have it in the show notes. I'll also have my affiliate link. He's going to offer everybody listening 20% off through my link. First month's always free to test it out as well, which I think is fabulous from a tech company, but is your AI. And we met a couple of weeks ago, was the last week, and you said we've updated it, not fixed, updated it. And I did 7 pitches. I got 2 responses within 24 hours. One, I got a big gig on a podcast, a really big podcast to be a guest. The other one was an interview style. So talk about the AI and how powerful it is.
Well, the biggest thing that we ran into in the beginning of having PitchDB, people had to manually search for stuff, and they didn't really know what to search for. So we were like, okay, how can we make this easier where all the person has to do is log in and click send? So when you first sign up, we're going to write a bio on you. All you do is put in your name, your website, and your LinkedIn. We go out, we write a full bio on you, and then we start matching you with podcasts and speaking gigs according to that bio. So that's the first integration of AI, the bio writing and then the matching, right? So then once we've matched you with certain podcasts, so you'll see the results will be targeted towards you. When you click on speaking gigs, it's just going to show you speaking gigs that are relevant to you. It's not going to just show you some random auto mechanic speaking gigs. Like, no, you talk about podcasting and personal branding. So it's going to show you those relevant conferences, speaking gigs, so forth and so on. So that was the first implementation of AI. The second and the most important is we cured writer's block. Because when you're trying to pitch a big podcast, you want to say the perfect thing because you don't want to look like a fool to this guy that you respect, but you also don't want to seem too needy. And I'm like, wait a minute. I got data from over 500,000 pitches that we send. We send 50,000 pitches a month, right? So I have all of these emails and what's worked and how many people have opened. Our open rates inside of PitchDB is about 72%.
Wow.
Right? So we know we have the right data, and we know that we can get the emails open if, the person would just follow what we asked them to do. Well, we're all entrepreneurs. And guess what? We want to do it ourselves, right? So we say, I know you gave us the templates, but I want to say it this way. And I'm like, no, our data says it should be said this way. And the person changes it and it never worked. So we said, all right, let's just force them to fix what we have. Meaning, we're going to give you what we think is the perfect pitch. And if you think you can beat it, change it. You know what? Nobody changes it. They look at it and say, damn, this is great. I'm just going to send this, right? So that's where we've cured writer's block, because we take that profile that we created for you, we match it with the descriptions and the transcripts of the podcast, and then we write a personalized pitch for that particular podcast or for that particular conference or for that particular journalist, right? So you know you're pitching correctly to the women's editor of Forbes. It's not going to talk about something goofy. It's going to be targeted to her and what she writes about, because we know what she writes about, right? So that's the curing of writer's block, where we write the entire pitch for you. You don't have to use it, but we're going to show it to you. And it's always outperformed the normal pitches because it's data driven.
Yeah. And I can attest to it. When I first met you and I started analysis by paralysis. I changed this. And then when we talked, I tested it out. Like in less than 5 minutes, audience, I put 7 pitches out there. I got, 2 responses, and I still may get others, because the other thing is automated follow-ups. Don't hear an answer, follow up. And AI can help with that, I believe, too, right?
Yep. So yeah, it writes the follow-up email because it takes in consideration that they didn't respond to what you said the first time. So people always say, well, what should I say in the follow-up? The same thing you said in the first one. Why? Because you gave your best pitch the first time. You don't save your best pitch for the third email. You just say, hey, I just wanted to remind you about an email I sent you earlier this week. And then you repitch your strong pitch again. A lot of times we have all as humans been reading an email. And then my 2-year-old daughter comes in and says, Dad, I wasted some water. And then I drop the phone and I go look at that water, and I come back and I go on YouTube. I don't even look at the email I was reading. Right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that the email wasn't important. Something more urgent distracted me. So if that person just sent me the same email again, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Let me finish, So that's all that we're doing, right? We're reframing the same message because we want to put your best foot forward in the first email. We don't want to save it.
And I want to put this out there. When you go there's over 11,000 speaking opportunities. 11,000. So there's a ton there, and it's growing. I noticed the number has grown as you go out, find more, right? Go ahead.
So there's 11,000 conferences.
Conferences, okay.
Okay. Conferences are just annual conferences that are out there. But we have another 10,000 or so local associations that do monthly meetings, right? So while you're waiting on the conference, like right now, if you're pitching, you're going to be pitching 9 months out for a conference, because they're making their decisions 9 months to a year ahead of the conference on who's going to be speaking, because they need to start doing their marketing, right? But in the meantime, while you're waiting on that conference that's coming up in November, you can go and do a speech every month at a local association that has local meetings that are monthly, right? So I may be able to go and test out my material for my November conference in 4 local 30-person small groups. I can start working on my messaging for that November conference. That's why we have the associations in there, because you can do smaller consulting style gigs. It's called PitchDB. Pitch what you want. I'm currently using it to pitch podcast sponsorships. I'm not even pitching it to get on shows. I want to sponsor shows, right? So you can pitch whatever you want. Sponsorships, appearances, consulting gigs, whatever you think you can, you can provide to the event host, the journalist, or the podcast host, you should be pitching.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. And that's why I had them on, guys and girls and listening. I forgot about associations. And by the way, some of these are paid gigs. And of course, not all of them, but.
Well, actually, all of them are paid gigs. And I'll tell you why. Yeah, I don't believe in free speech, right? And I know that's contrary to being American, but I don't believe in free speech. And what I mean by that is I don't believe in speaking for free, right? So I'm going to figure out how to get paid in one of 3 ways. I call it the BDA guide to speaking. Either they're going to pay me before, meaning they're going to write a check for me to show up. Maybe $3 grand, maybe $5 grand, maybe 20 grand. They're going to write a check for me to show up. But you know what they're not going to let me do? They're not going to let me sell from the stage. They're not going to let me set up a book table in the back because they paid me to speak, not to come sell, right? So that's if you get paid before. Now, there are some gigs where you get paid during the event. They're not going to pay you to show up, or you may even have to pay to show up to speak at their conference. But they'll let you sell from the stage. They'll let you put a table in the back. They'll let you do all of the stuff that you need in order to make money from the appearance. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then
Big
the
time.
third way is where they don't pay you to show up. They're not going to let you pay. They're not going to let you sell from the stage, but you'll make money from speaking at their event. TEDx. TEDx does not pay you up front. They don't let you sell anything in your speech, but yet everybody wants to do it because of the cachet that comes after giving a TEDx talk. Last weekend, we watched Usher do a Super Bowl halftime performance. He got paid nothing.
I didn't know
Rihanna,
that.
last year, got paid nothing. Beyonce, the year before, got paid nothing. The NFL does not pay artists for Super Bowl performances. Why? Because they have the largest commercial. They get a 20-minute commercial to the world on the largest sporting event in the world. And then they put out an album, they go on tour, and then everything blows up. So they make their money afterwards. Here's my thing. If Beyonce is willing to do the Super Bowl for free in her peak, don't tell me you won't go speak for free when you're at your bottom. You're just getting started. So if the most famous people in the world will go and give away a free speech for free for the cachet, why is it that us young speakers, us young entrepreneurs are too arrogant to go do it to build our own brands? Now, should you do everything for free? No. If you don't have the way to get paid on the backside, I do all of my speaking gigs for free because I want to sell, right? I want to be able to sell my product. So I go, yeah, put me in a room with 200 people. Come on, let's go. Put me in a room with 50 people. I'll show up. I'll fly in to do it because I'm going to walk away with 40 customers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So in that way, I don't believe in free speech because of that reason. You can get paid before, during, or after. Ask Beyonce, ask Usher, ask any other person who's performed at the Super Bowl. They do it for free.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you went there because I was going to talk about that. Thought leadership, or being a thought leader expert or branding is huge with speeches, podcasts. Don't go in thinking money, go in thinking the after effect. What's the smoke you left afterwards? And I forgot to those 3 people or all artists do the Super Bowl for free. Anyway, they did 5-8 minutes. Yeah, they got to go to shore. They flew them out, took care of all that. But where they get $1 million, millions of dollars when they do concerts. So you're telling me as an entrepreneur, go out and do those free, but get paid in the back end if you're not getting paid in the front end. BDA.
100%. And here's the other side of it. You know, the best way to practice speaking for free and making money? Go on podcast, right? Because here's the thing. I hear people all the time. They tell me, oh, I only want to go on Joe Rogan. I only want to be on the best podcast. And I always ask, okay, if I had a room full of 100 people in your target audience, and I was going to personally introduce you to those 100 people, and they agreed to listen to you for an hour, talk about how you can help them. It's basically a 1-hour class. Would you come and teach that class? Yeah, I would do that every day. That's a podcast. Yeah. It's asynchronous. It's an asynchronous class, right? So I hear this arrogance about not wanting to go on small podcasts. But then I ask, what's the largest room you've ever spoken in front of? 100. So you're complaining about a podcast that's 3,000 downloads, but your largest live audience is 100 people? Get over yourself.
This is why I love working with you, Ron. You're speaking I've never turned down and I've got a lot coming, and I won't turn any down through PitchDB, but I'm the same way. It's one person could change your life that could listen to the show. Yeah, people want millions, but don't worry about money with all this. It's called marketing to get exposure.
Well, a lot of times you'll ask, man, I just want to help people, but yeah, they don't want to help people.
Yeah.
So one lady, she told me, she said, Lisa Nichols, I want to be like Lisa Nichols. Perfect. I'm glad you said that. How many podcasts did Lisa Nichols do? I don't know. She probably don't do many. She's like big time. We looked her up in PitchDB, 2,200 podcasts in the last 4 years. I said, if you want to be like Lisa Nichols, be like Lisa Nichols. Go on 2,200 podcasts. You know, the thing about going on 2,200 podcasts, they're not all in the top 100, meaning that she went on some little bitty ones.
Yep. Yep. No, and it's true. It's and they're fun. I mean, people, if you go to a podcast, you've got an expert or something to talk, they're a lot of fun. Like we're having fun today. This is not Yellowstone TV series, directors and producers and all that. This is just conversing, educating, motivating, inspiring people.
100%. And we've added 2,000 users to PitchDB just from podcast guesting. I don't do any Facebook ads. I don't do any YouTube ads or anything. All I do is go on podcasts. So when people tell me they can't make money from podcasts, I got 2,000 people that pay me regularly every month because I go on shows like this.
There
right?
you go.
So, I mean, again, I don't think that there's enough coaches. I'll use an analogy with you. Did you play sports when you were in
Absolutely.
school?
Yep.
What'd you play?
Football and baseball.
Okay. All right. I played baseball in high school. Played football as a kid, but I was a little too little, right? So, but let's think about it. Now, what was the difference between your football coach and your math teacher?
Well, I had more fun with my football coach. He knew more about football, and my math teacher knew more about math, which I didn't like.
Yep. So the rules with being a teacher is you have to present the information.
Yes.
And it's up to the student to get the most out of the information that you present. That's why they provide tests. Hey, did you learn from the things that I taught? It's not the teacher's job in reality to push you to become your best. It's their job to present the information, you absorb it, you'll be tested if you do the homework, and you'll pass. Your coach says, no, you don't get to come in on the team just because you want to be on the team. Where in the classroom, the teachers have to let you in the classroom. They don't have to let you on the football team.
Right.
And I guarantee you, your coach used some language your math teacher would have never used.
Very true.
Right? Because his job is to get the most out of you so that you can perform with your other teammates and win the game. Right now, most people who are online are not coaches. They call themselves coaches, and it is damn disrespectful because they don't coach people. And I'll tell you why they can't. Because it's a conflict of interest of who's paying.
Ah.
They can't really coach you and tell you the truth because you're going to cancel and not pay next month. You're going to go find another soft coach that's going to pat you on the back as you keep missing your goals. But your football coach put his foot in your ass when you didn't do what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And guess what? You got right or you got off the team. So all I'm saying is, hey, guys, if you really want to be who you say you want to be, deal with the tough coaching. Deal with the poop sandwich you got to eat to be great, right? Do the work. So I think a lot of times people kind of shy away from the work. And it's like, no, just do it. You'll be fine. Over the long run, it won't matter how hard it was. What will matter is how great you feel when you get to where you're trying to go. So I think a lot of coaches back off of pushing because they don't want people canceling and leaving the community. And then now everybody's, oh, he didn't have to scream at her like that. Who? Maybe he didn't have to do it in public, but he had to tell her the truth.
Yeah.
People tell me the truth every day when they decide not to pay for PitchDB.
Yeah.
You know, they tell you, no, I'm not paying. Ask someone for some money. They'll tell you, no, I'm not paying for that. They don't even do this. Who? I don't get to cry and say, well, why didn't you just try it? No, they said, you need to fix this and we'll come back. Your customers will give you the best coaching.
Amen.
Because they're not going to pay you if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, guys. Yo, it's a lot of opportunity out there for everybody to be great. There's 3.4 million podcasts that publish once a week, which means that there's 15 million speaking opportunities. Actually, that's 150 million. 3 million times 50 is 150 million podcast episodes. There aren't 150 million speaking gigs. But you can build a great business and brand just by reaching more people through podcasts, leveling that up into speaking gigs, and then leveling that up into press. And then you have this flywheel of just momentum. where
Yeah.
everybody will want you on their podcast. People will want you speaking at their conferences. People will want you in their articles and things of that sort. It's just how it works.
Yeah, I love that, because the other thing that I want to add, we're in the end of time here, is your network. You take that 50, let's do 50, and all of them, let's say, have 3,000 people in the network of their podcast. It's 150,000 people you just had exposure to, potential exposure. Let's use 10%. That's 15, that's 5,000 people that saw you and listened to you. And this happened to me. It's why we're working together. My podcast is #1 because of that, being on shows and being great guests like you. Real quick, what's the future of PitchDB? I know it's changed a lot since we met. What are you thinking about in the future?
Yeah, so a couple of things we're working on is building coaching into PitchDB. So right now, when you sign up, we're going to ask you, what are your goals, right? How many podcasts do you want to be on? How many speaking gigs do you want to do? How many local association talks do you want to do? How much press do you want? We're going to ask you all of those questions. And we're building the AI now to actually coach you inside of PitchDB, right? So you're going to get a text message in probably April. If you're a user in April, you'll get a text message saying, hey, you said this month you wanted to be on 4 speaking gigs, but you've only sent 13 pitches. Your averages, your response rate says that you need 40 pitches per speaking gig. Here's a link to go send more pitches for today, right? Nobody's doing that. So we're like, look, AI can coach. It's a very good coach, but you have to be able to collect the right data. So building that pitch coaching into it is going to be incredible. We've already outlined it all. We're testing it now. That's the future. It's giving people the little nudge, but we're going to give you a hug too. I don't always scream at people, right?
He does hug it. I've had a virtual hug out a few times.
Yeah, you know.
Ron, I want to thank you, and thank you for sponsoring. If you need information, they'll be in the chat. Comment on the YouTube channel about this show, and I'll have Ron reach out to you. You have an organization of salespeople. What a great way to get PitchDB out to them to go out and speak on podcasts about your product or service. That's another way. And I want to thank you all for listening. As I always say, especially with this podcast with Ron today, there's a forward and a backwards button on a podcast for a reason. Hit the 15-minute mark, and Ron, the BDA, that's $1 million tip right there. Swear to God, that could make you $1 million. Go back and listen to it. Use the power of this podcast. And I want to don't forget about our podcast swag. The link will be in the chat. You can get your hats, hoodies, and all that. Maybe a PitchDB swag down the road. We're going to talk later. Just had an idea. And then the last thing is, I want to thank you all for listening. And I look forward to seeing you all on the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Thank you all.